Okay, so for question 16, we've got the derivative of h of t, and we are supposed to integrate this and go back to the function h of t. But on this one, I think probably the biggest problem with this is the way these are written here. So I would take just a moment and maybe move this guy up using exponent rules. And I guess you could do that on this one as well, but that one's not going to be quite as helpful. So if you use this exponent rule to rewrite it like this, now we can undo the power rule by raising the power by 1, dividing by the new power. And then you can try that over here, but when you raise the power by 1, it becomes t to the 0, which sounds okay. But then when you try to divide by that power, you can't divide by 0. So actually, this is where the natural log rule needs to come in, because we can't just do undo power rule for that. So that would be absolute value, natural log of absolute value of t, and of course there could be a constant that they're taking the derivative of that I can't see here. And then finally I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this and move him back to the denominator. So that's what our function would be. Now we can go back and use this initial condition. So when y is 1, t is 1. And the natural log of 1, this is saying e to what power gives you 1? That would be 0. So it looks like c is 0. So with the initial condition applied, it looks like that would be the function. Finally, if we go ahead and evaluate at h of the square root of e, I'm going to plug in the square root of e here, plug in the square root of e here. Now, the square root of e is already a positive number, so whether you want to keep up with the absolute value sign or not doesn't really matter. Now this doesn't match up any of my choices, so I do need to practice simplifying this a little bit. So to move forward here, we need to think of the square root as an exponent of a half. And then since it's an exponent on something that I'm taking the log of, that can come down out front. The natural log of v is just 1. E to the first power is what gives you e. And then finally, to make it match up one of the choices, they got a common denominator here. So this guy needed to be multiplied by 2, and this guy needed to be multiplied by the square root of e. And that's how you should come up with that final answer.